Once again, welcome to our program. Interesting lady to talk to today, a lady who wears a number of different hats, but she has the same kind of shoes on, so that's good. You didn't get the wrong shoes. Carroll Purroy? Purroy.
Yes.
Carroll Purroy. And Carroll, you are an author,
Yes.
and you have been a teacher, and you're involved in a lot of interviewing about people's memories as they grow older. You and I are both senior citizens. What are the benefits? I'm trying to still find some. What are the benefits of growing older?
Well, growing older in today's society have a whole lot of benefits that did not exist in the past. It's said that today's 70 is yesterday's 50, and I think both of us exemplify that. We're both busy doing things maybe because of, maybe in spite of our age. But the rules have all changed.
Yeah, that's true.
And so, you know, our grandparents, for instance, if we remember our grandparents, I mean, I have a significant other and we go riding on a bicycle built for two almost every day. And I don't know about you, but I cannot imagine my grandparents at my age doing something like that, or talking about a significant other even.
My grandfather was retired. He was retired to come home, to sit in his chair, to read his paper, still would have his vest on and a tie every day because that's how he had dressed as a salesman for 50 years or whatever.
Exactly.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. The whole senior thing, and I think medicine has had a tremendous amount to do with this. You know, people, nothing to be 85 today.
That's right, or even 100. I mean, so many people are reaching 100 now. So just everything has changed, including us. And I mean, when I graduated from high school, for instance, I had no idea that I would be doing the things today that I'm doing. I mean, I've had a television show in the last couple of years. I have, I keep working. I'm writing books and putting out books and teaching classes, and I'm doing a women's retreat in October. I'm leading a group on a cruise in August. If anybody would like to come, get in touch with me.
You are busy.
I am busy.
Is the women's retreat for seniors mainly, or just all women? For all women. And what will you discuss at something like that?
Well, we're going to just have a whole lot of fun. It's it's kind of like a sleepover for grown-ups.
Okay.
You know,
Pajama party.
A pajama party, yeah. But there is a focus of writing. So we do a lot of creative writing, a lot of memoir writing and writing from the heart. And I've had a lot of people come to my retreats who were not writers, but discovered that they really love writing. So they sort of awakened their inner writer. And we just have a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, because I know some of the interviews we've done, and they talked about people writing their memoirs and how important that was. Some gentleman who was a pilot in World War II writing about his experiences and really getting into that. That's helpful to the person or people around him or everybody?
All of the above.
Okay.
Yes. I do a lot of public speaking too, and one of the things I talk about is the health benefits of writing your memoirs. And there's a whole lot of health benefits, both emotionally and physically, to writing your memoirs. One of the things I recently discovered was that in the Journal of the American Medical Association in April of 1996, there's an article about a study that was done. They had a group of people, and then they had a control group. The main group of people wrote about the most traumatic event in their lives for 20 minutes a day, 3 days in a row. Now these people had either, they had a chronic illness of either rheumatoid arthritis or asthma. So writing 20 minutes a day, 3 days in a row about their most traumatic event.
How it affected them, the illness.
Well, just whatever, how it happened, what happened, etc. They tested them 2 weeks later, 2 months later, and 4 months later. And the decrease in their symptoms was significant and dramatic. So they only tested those 2 chronic illnesses. But my feeling is if they had tested a whole bunch of other ones, they would have found the same results, and they would have, I mean, if you wrote more than that, maybe the results would be even better.
You know, one of the things that I do, that I really enjoy weekly, I do a nostalgia radio show on KUNR, both on Wednesday night and Sunday night.
We listen every.
Oh, I appreciate it. Oh, you're the one. I knew there was somebody. But my, you know, and I've had people say to me, Carroll, you're living in the past. Is it wrong to live in the past?
Well, as long as you don't stay in the past, but certainly reminiscing and bringing up some nostalgia and remembering old friends and all. I think that's very healthy. And writing about it, actually getting it out on paper or onto computer has significant health benefits.
How can people do that? How can people, who do they need to contact if somebody's watching this and saying, I would like to write my memoirs?
Okay, well, I just happen to have a wonderful book here that I wrote based upon a class that I have taught for about 20 years. And then I used it as the textbook. It's called Your Life Ought to Be a Book, and the subtitle is Write the Stories of Your Life. And it tells exactly how and why to do it. I have a lot of people who say, oh, my life wasn't that interesting, why should I write it? Well, their life was that interesting. Because, I mean, even if they were just a housewife or just a ditch digger or whatever, they were living in an era that is to their grandchildren and great-grandchildren like a visit to another planet. So if they simply write about their experiences growing up or their experiences as young adults, they're going to be adding to the body of knowledge. And this is something that their descendants will want to know.
Are there any commercial possibilities for people that write these things to get them published commercially and maybe make a buck or two?
Certainly. I mean, I don't know how to do it, but I self-publish, and so it is possible. There are people who have done it. I mean, Frank McCourt, for example, with Angela's Ashes. That's a perfect example of a memoir. It covered his childhood. And then he wrote a second one called Tis for the young adult years of his life, which did not do as well as the first one. But he definitely, I mean, that put him on the map.
You've written a book, something about growing old disgracefully? Is that the title of it?
Is that
the title of it?
Yes, that's the proposed title of it, and since I will be self-publishing, I can control that. It's in the process of being written, and one of the things is that as we were saying earlier, the world has changed, our culture has changed, and people have changed. So the expectations that we had earlier on about growing old have changed. And it's a heck of a lot more fun to grow old disgracefully than to grow old gracefully, in my opinion.
I don't know. I don't think about myself growing old.
I don't either.
I mean, I really don't. I mean, I'm thinking, you know, I can remember what I did 25, 30 years ago in my professional life, and I enjoyed that. And I'm still doing some things today, obviously, that I enjoy. And I don't think of myself as, when will it hit me? Actually, I'm on crutches. I've had a couple operations. That makes you think. That makes you think that you're growing old.
Also, as we were saying earlier, the medical field has just taken such tremendous gains that the surgeries that you've just had were not possible 50 years ago or so. So you would probably feel old if you hadn't been able to have these surgeries. And I don't know, I just think life is easier now. And so we're growing older, and we are growing older, still healthy.
And there really are more things tailored to seniors today.
Yes.
We didn't have that 50 years ago. I mean, there are programs now. There are jobs tailored to seniors.
Sure. And there are senior centers all over the place with all kinds of classes. And
all kinds of glasses, too. You're right.
Too, yes.
You got to have your glasses in the senior center.
And all kinds of, I mean, there are exercise rooms at some of them. There are just, I mean, the possibilities now for staying active and being involved in the community are just so much different than they were before. And it's an amazing thing, a wonderful thing. It's a great time to be growing older.
I was talking to Sharon, who's producing our show today, and we were talking about the fact of seniors who have lost a spouse and hooking up with somebody else in their life. Are these people getting married, or are they just kind of riding their bicycles together as friends, or what's your take on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Some are getting married, some are remaining significant others, some are living together, some are living apart. In my situation, we live in our separate houses, and at first that bothered me a little until I complained to my women friends, and my married friends all said, "Are you nuts? You've got the best of both worlds. You get sick of him, you just go home, or send him home." And my single friends said, "Are you nuts? You've got somebody to go to concerts with, to plays with, to ride bicycles with, to go traveling with, but he's not underfoot all the time."
And this living together thing has taken on a whole new meaning than it would 50 years ago. You got married. You got married. You never thought about living together, but people now are actually living together.
To each way. So whatever works for each couple is perfectly okay.
How do people find you, and I know you have a website, and find some of the things that you've been involved in some of your writings?
Okay, the easiest way to find me, and my website, my main website connects to all of my other websites. So the main website is a-zpublishing.com. So it's a-zpublishing.com, a-z publishing, that's all one word, .com.
Carroll Purroy, you're an interesting lady, and I appreciate you taking time to be on our program. Did you ride your bike down here today to City Hall?
No, it's a bicycle built for two.
Oh, for two.
So it's kind of hard to ride by myself.
You can always get parking for a bicycle.
But it's easier to pick up men that way.
That's right. Along the way, and don't tell your significant other who lives in another house about that. Carroll, thanks for being our guest.
Thank you
I
so much
appreciate
for
it.
having me.
And our thanks to you, and we'll see you next time.